Hi, I'm Roxana Eldon. I run the Maintain and Stay Sane program for teachers, and this is the final section of my video version of my new teacher orientation speech. And if you're watching a new teacher orientation speech on your own time, I think I can say with confidence that you are not doing this because you want to be a pretty good teacher or an okay teacher or even a slightly above average teacher. You want to be a great teacher. And everyone around you also wants you to be a great teacher. In fact, I don't know if there is any other profession that gets told as often as educators that they are doing the most important job in the world.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
On the one hand, it's nice to hear that your job is important. But on the other hand, if your job is so important, what happens if you mess up? And I'm going to tell you a secret about that right now. You will mess up. And the reason that you'll mess up is because you're a rookie, and rookies make rookie mistakes. So it's important to get really clear on what a rookie mistake is. Individual rookie mistakes are often things that could be avoided, but it is impossible to avoid making a single rookie mistake. And that's because a rookie mistake is a specific type of mistake that you make in the process of improving. There's a book called Mindset by a psychologist named Carol Dweck. And if you haven't heard of it, you probably will because it's well respected in the teaching world. The concept of mindset explains one big difference between people who improve over time and people who just kind of level off where they are. The people who improve over time have what's called a growth mindset. These people believe that our abilities, whether it's math or basketball or the ability to line second graders up for a bathroom break, can improve over time based on the work and effort we put in. People with a growth mindset understand that each time you climb a little higher or push yourself a little farther, you will encounter a few new obstacles. And they believe that that is what the road to success looks like. The opposite of a growth mindset is called a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that you're either naturally good at something or naturally bad at it, and that this is a fixed state of affairs. And imagine, if you're naturally good or naturally bad at something and that can't be changed, then failing even once would prove that you don't have what it takes and you're never going to. For that reason, people who have a fixed mindset are much more likely to act like they already know everything than they are to ask for help. You'll often hear about this in the context of your students, but it definitely applies to teachers also. One warning sign of a colleague with a fixed mindset is if you ask for help with a problem that you're having and their response is something like, well, that would never happen in my classroom. My kids would know better. My students respect me. If someone says something like this to you, this is not the right person to turn to for advice. And part of the reason is that this is not advice. This is someone with a fixed mindset making themselves feel good at your expense. There's a pretty good chance that this person is not going to help you improve. And part of the reason is that they are not that great of a teacher, because that's not how you treat someone who's trying to learn something. I said it. Another sign of a fixed mindset is extreme negativity. This is where you talk to someone about a problem you're trying to solve, and they say, well, what do you expect? The kids are hopeless, the school's a mess, the parents don't care, etc., etc., etc. This problem's never going to get solved. This is another fixed mindset way of dealing with frustration, because someone who doesn't believe they can improve will always look to blame their setbacks on someone or something else. Teaching is hard, and you knew that. But there's no point in being here if you believe it's impossible. I mention this because as a new teacher, you're going to need to look for mentor teachers. You probably have an assigned mentor within your school, but you need more than one. You need a whole board of teaching advisors. When you're picking people for your board of advisors, you want to look for people who are able to say, these problems have happened in my class. They are not easy to solve, but here are some solutions I've come up with over time. Then they should give you specific, concrete advice. You should be able to picture putting this advice into practice as they're saying it. A good mentor doesn't say, well, you should make your lessons more interesting. A good mentor will say something like, when you ask that first question, wait at least 30 seconds and announce that you're waiting at least 30 seconds for somebody to raise their hand. Or even better, a good mentor might say, here's my favorite lesson plan on this topic, steal it. You'll find more tips on working with a mentor and finding additional mentors in my sanity-saving school year starter kit, which is a free 3-day email series that helps you cut through the overwhelm and do exactly what you need to prepare for your first day of teaching. You can find the link to that in the description underneath this video. In my new teacher orientation speeches, I always talk a lot about preparing for your first day of teaching. But you also have to prepare for your worst day of teaching. At some point this year, you will have a day when something goes very wrong in your classroom, or you'll have a series of days that are just demoralizing. In fact, I guarantee you will have at least one day this year that will make you wonder if you are cut out for teaching. And that is normal. That is what learning to teach looks like. But I promise that you are also going to improve this year in ways you may not even realize until a month into next summer. And this is why it helps to think of your worst days as a rite of passage rather than a sign that you're not cut out for this. Having a growth mindset means always looking for a way to get one real permanent step better at a time. That is what you need to celebrate when it happens for your students, and you also need to celebrate it when it happens for you. One real permanent step better is what learning to do anything looks like, and it's definitely what learning to teach looks like. The path to becoming the teacher you want to be is a long line of those small steps and all of the stumbles that come along with them. You are part of a long line of educators that probably goes back to the beginning of humanity in some form. And I am excited for you, and I wish you all the best as you step into your first classroom for the first time and become a teacher. You got this.